Hey guys, so today's video is going to be a book unhaul. I'm organising my bookshelves at the moment because I really want to do a like bookshelf video where I show you guys all of my bookshelves, but I want to get them all looking nice and tidy. And I've bought a lot of books recently and I'm kind of running out of space about where to put them all. I have like 3 pretty big bookshelves. 2 of them are like double stacked. So yeah, I feel like I need to do some unhauling. Also, I don't know how this video is going to turn out. I'm aware that my face looks really pink. I have no idea why. It's just the lighting in this bedroom. I'm currently filming in my son's bedroom because I'm finding it really hard to get good lighting today. It's a little bit cloudy and I have my washing like my big clothes horse out in the corridor, so I can't film in there, which is the white background I normally film on. So yeah, I don't know why for some reason the lighting is making my face really pink. I can see it in the viewfinder in like the screen. I don't know if that's how the video is going to turn out, but yeah, I don't know why my son's bedroom is not pink. But yeah, that's just how the lighting is in this video, unfortunately. But yeah, to get back to the books, I have a pretty big stack of books I'm going to donate to charity, and I'm just going to go through them and tell you guys which ones I'm getting rid of and why. So first off, the first book I'm getting rid of is a James Herbert book, and the reason I'm getting rid of this book is because I actually really like James Herbert, but I have 3 copies of this book. I received 3 copies in the Abominable Book Box, which is a horror book subscription service that I'm subscribed to, and each month, as well as getting 2 like new books, you also get 1 a second-hand book which is randomly picked and is different for every single box, and I somehow ended up with 3 of the same, which is fine. I am planning on reading this, but the other one I had was a cooler cover, so I'm going to keep that one, and then I'm going to donate this one to somebody else who will hopefully enjoy it, because I like James Herbert horror books. Another book I have here is The Others. I received this a while back, like last year sometime, again in the book box, and it just says they would rather die than become mothers. And this book, I don't know, I read a lot of horror, but there's one thing in horror books I don't really like reading about is stuff involving children, and this is like mothers, and I don't know what this book is about, so I can't say it specifically involves children. But yeah, just from that premise I'm like, do I really want to read it? I mean, it's quite a short book. Oh, it has an ink stain on the top, which I didn't realise. Yeah, it's not a long book, but I don't know, I've just been on my shelves and I'm really not feeling it, and I don't know when I'm gonna ever think about picking this up, so I was like, well, I may as well just unhaul it for now, because I've got so many other books on my shelves I want to read, and this one just keeps being put to the bottom of the pile that I'm just like, I'm just gonna pass it along. I'm trying to be quite harsh with my unhauls because I often find it really difficult to get rid of books, so I'm trying to be good. I have so many, but I really need to start getting rid of some. The next one I have is The Last House on Needless Street, by Katrina Ward. Yeah, if you've seen my review of this book, I really didn't enjoy it. I was so disappointed because everybody seems to like this book, and I really don't. I don't like the use of mental health in this book as the premise. I just don't like it when books do that. I didn't feel like it was necessary. You know, it was blurbed as having like this really big twist in it, and everyone saying, oh, it was so unexpected. I literally guessed exactly what was going to happen within the first chapter. I feel like if you've ever worked in the mental health field, you will get the premise of this straight away. Yeah, I'm trying not to give spoilers, but it was just really disappointing, and the ending I thought was terrible. I thought it made basically the whole book a bit pointless. So yeah, I really didn't enjoy this one, was bitterly disappointed. I should remember to take all my bookmarks out of these books. Yeah, I'm glad I read it, and it's a really nice book. Like, oh, that is my phone alarm, sorry. I really like the look of this book, so like this is kind of hard to get rid of just because I like the look of it, and it's got like a nice yellow cover there. But I shouldn't keep a book just because I like the look of it. If I didn't like the story, why am I keeping it? I'm not going to reread it ever, so I may as well pass it along to somebody else who is going to actually enjoy it. The next book I have is Zombie Road 2 by David A. Simpson. Yeah, again, this was another second-hand one in the box I got, and I do like the sound of it. I do think it sounds interesting, but again, I'm just not sure when I'm going to get round to it. And I don't have the first one, so am I really going to dive in on the second one? Probably not. I don't know, I feel like I'm second guessing this one now I'm looking at it. Maybe I'll read the first chapter, and if I still want to pass it on I will, but yeah, I think I'm going to pass it on. But I may read the first chapter just to check. The next book is All the White Spaces by Ali Wilkes. I read this and I really enjoyed it. This book is about a transgender character during the World War. They become a stowaway. Yeah, during the First World War, Jonathan becomes a stowaway on a it's like an Antarctic expedition, and they're a stowaway on the ship, and it's just about their journey to the Antarctic, what happens, they kind of get stranded there, how like their survival techniques, and it's very atmospheric. I read this around the time it was snowing and really cold in the UK, so it was like a perfect setting to read this book. And yeah, I really did enjoy it. I'm getting rid of it because I just don't think I ever would reread it, and like I said, I need space, so I need to be a little bit harsh with my books. But I did really enjoy this book and I would recommend it. It was a slow burn, and it was quite a big book for a slow burn. I don't normally enjoy slow burn stories, but for some reason I just really enjoyed the atmosphere and the characters in this book. It was well written. I really wanted to know what was going to happen. It says it's heady and haunting, which it definitely is. So yeah, I did actually really like this book. I just don't think I'm ever going to reread it. It's one of those books where once you get that feels from it the first time, I don't feel like I would feel the same way the second time reading it. So that's why I am passing it on. The next book is The Sisters Next Door by L.H. Stacey. I don't think I've even reviewed this book on my channel yet, but I read this a while back. I'm unhauling it for the same reason as the last one. I don't think I would ever reread it. I think I gave this like a 3 or a 2. It was okay. It was about two sisters move into this house. Their mother's passed away. Somebody seems to be stalking them, and you're trying to figure out who it is. This wasn't well written. This was actually very badly written, and the house is described as a bungalow, but then it describes stairs in the house and like upstairs and downstairs. Characters seem to jump location for no apparent reason, with no explanation. I felt like the author kind of forgot where their characters were in the setting, and then suddenly they were somewhere else and something else was happening. So yeah, the writing wasn't the best. It says plot twist kept me guessing till the end. I mean, I read it till the end, but it wasn't all that thrilling. Like, it was okay, but it was badly written, so I don't think I would particularly recommend this book to anyone. It was quite forgettable as well. I can't even remember the characters' names. It was like a few months ago I read this, and I forgot to review it even on my channel, so I'm just going to pass it on. It was a bit of a forgettable book. The next book is another one that I actually really enjoyed. It's called The Sleep Room by F.R. Tallis. I have read and reread this book several times. I'm getting rid of it because I have 2 copies. Again, I received a second copy in Abominable Book Club box, but I already had a copy which I've had for years, and like I said, I reread this book. Still really like it. Very atmospheric. It's set in like this remote clinic in Somerset, and they're doing this like sleep experiment on some patients, and then some creepy stuff start happening. You're following the psychiatrist throughout the story, and yeah, you're like, is paranormal stuff happening, or is he just becoming unhinged? Yeah, it's a good story. The next one is Dr. Sleep by Stephen King. Stephen King is a hit or miss author for me. I like his short stories. I often find his bigger books boring. I love his premises, but I find his writing so dry and so dull. I got literally halfway through this book and I was like, I can't, I just don't care. I'm so bored. It took forever for the character to get anywhere in this book. His writing is very slow. I much prefer his short stories, and like I said, I like his concepts. I'm just not sure about his writing style is for me. I get bored. So I gave up on this one halfway through. I do still have some of his books on my TBR, so we'll see how that goes. The next one is a recent read, and it's The Flat Share by Beth O'Leary. This book was a 3-star for me. It was okay. Again, I'm unhauling it because I'm never going to reread it. I didn't particularly fall in love with either of the characters. It's about a couple who, a man and a woman, end up sharing a flat. She lives in the flat in the day, he lives in it at night because he's a night nurse. Oh sorry, other way around, because like he sleeps in the day and then works at night, and she obviously works in the day and sleeps at night. And they communicate through post-it notes. It's a rom-com. Yeah, it was okay. It was alright. I just didn't really fall in love with either of the characters, so I'm not particularly attached to that book. The next one is The Sanatorium by Sarah Pease. This was, I think, a 3 out of 5 for me. I read this a while back. It was an interesting story. It's about this detective who gets stranded in his hotel. They get snowed in, and then people start turning up dead or just disappearing. Yeah, again, I don't feel like this was particularly well written. There was stuff that, it was a reach. I remember getting to the ending and I was like, this is a reach to get to this as the killer and the reasons behind it. And some of the things were never explained. Like, there was bracelets dropped in the snow in the very beginning of the book, and you're like, oh, this is going to be a clue for later on. It just never comes up again. So yeah, there was stuff unexplained in this book. I think this is going to be a series, but I don't think I'm going to continue the series. It was just okay, and I'm not going to reread it, so therefore it's going in the pile. I then have American Assassin by Vince Flynn. It's been on my bookshelves for a couple of years and I haven't picked it up, haven't read it, don't really have any plans to get round to reading it. Again, I have so many other books I would read ahead of this one that yeah, I think it's time to let go. The plot, I have no idea what this is about. I actually borrowed this from my dad, so I'm actually just going to give it back to my dad, because then if I do feel like reading it, it's about a young writer dies before they finish their first novel. His teacher helps himself to the plot, resulting, and then the book is a phenomenal success. I feel like that's the plot of another book that recently came out, isn't it? Isn't that the similar plot to Yellowface? A book where somebody dies and somebody steals their novel and then publishes it and it's a success. But I think there's a play on race there, because I think the author who passes away is Asian and then it's a white woman who publishes her story. I believe that's what Yellowface is about. I've seen a lot of reviews on it recently. But yeah, similar plot to that. So, yeah, it does sound interesting actually, but I'll just borrow it back off my dad when I want to read it. I'll be like, oh, can I borrow that book again? So yeah. Next one I have is Moonflower Murders by Anthony Horowitz. I got halfway through this book. Well, not halfway through, not even half, it's a quarter of the way through. I got like 155 pages in. and I got bored and I put it down, and it's been half a year and I haven't picked it back up again. So yeah, if it's been that long, I'm obviously not that fussed about this book, and I'm probably not going to pick it up again. From what I remember, somebody gets murdered in a hotel, and then this woman who, he was like a writer, and then the woman who was his publisher comes back to try and solve the murder or something. Maybe I should try and finish it because the plot was interesting. Maybe I'll like skim read it, or maybe I'll just look it up on Goodreads and find out what the ending is. Because yeah, again, it's just another book I was reading and then I got bored, and I don't see myself picking it up anytime soon. So yeah, that is one to go. And then last but not least, I have Witch Hunt by Sid Moore. This is, I think, been in an unhaul before, and I remember saying in that unhaul video, well, maybe I'll keep it. It's been another couple of years and I still haven't read it, so it's gonna go. I can't remember what this book is about. I got it like 5 years ago and I haven't read it in those 5 years, so it's time to go. So I think that's everything I have in my pile of books today. Sorry about the weird lighting in this video. I don't see, you know, I don't know why my face is so pink. Hopefully when I actually upload this video it won't be as bad. But yeah, forget the weird face, and let me know if you've read any of these books and were they really good. Should I keep them? Or one of the books I've read, if you've read it and you think it was really good and I should read it or finish it, then let me know your thoughts on the books I showed. And yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. I'm hoping to do a couple of these unhaul videos because, like I said, I want to organise my shelves so that I can do a shelf tour. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. So as always, thank you for watching, and until next time, bye guys.